Hey guys, I'm super glad to have you here today because I'm really excited about today's Halloween craft. So today I'm going to show you guys how to make this haunted house explosion box with your Cricut. And not only is this a super fun Halloween craft to make and receive, but it also makes a cute Halloween decoration as well. So to get started, make sure to grab the free Haunted House SVG template from my blog at svgnation.com, and you are going to find a link in this video description that will take you directly there, along with links to the supplies that I'm using in today's video in case you want to check any of those out. So once you have that uploaded in Cricut Design Space, go ahead and add that file to your canvas. And it's a pretty big file, it's got a lot of pieces, so I'm just going to zoom out so you can see these better. And first we do need to ungroup everything, so go ahead and click up here to ungroup all of your layers. So there's a lot of pieces to this, and you do need to modify a lot of the lines. So I'm going to go through each piece to kind of show you what they are, because you don't necessarily have to use all of these decorations. You don't have to use all of these boxes, so you can definitely minimize this a lot if you don't want to make it so over the top. Okay, so we're just going to kind of go in order. So with this piece right here, we do need to change this red box and all the lines that are attached with it to score lines. So these are lines that are hard to see, but they're on the bat right here, and that's going to help your box easily fold in. So these are all grouped together. So see, I'm just clicking on this big group right here, and I'm just going to change that operation right here to score. And then if you just click right above it, this is all grouped together if you see all the way down here. And that's just taking those score lines and grouping it right here with the box that they're going to be on. And we just need to attach those together. Okay, so these 4 pieces, these go on the inside of the box to add the color behind the window. So I do recommend using these. And then this right here, this is just a piece for the middle right here just to add more color. Totally optional. This Happy Halloween and spiderweb, this is just a decorative piece for one of the sides. So if you just want to put candy on all of the sides, then you can totally delete all of these as well. And now these are kind of the window pieces, the curtains in the frames. I do recommend using these. They add so much to the box. And these right here, these are the ghosts that go on this middle box. So if you're not going to use this middle box, then you can delete the ghost as well, and this middle box, and the top, and the decorative pieces, this one, and this one that go with it, because you just may want to fill the whole middle of your box with candy instead of adding that other box. So that takes away a lot of the work as well if you want to remove that. But right here, if you're going to keep this box, again, you need to change this red hexagon right here, and you need to change that to score. And then we're just going to click right here to attach those 2 layers together. And we're going to do the same thing for the lid for that box. We're just going to click right here on this group of lines, change the operation to score, click right above it so we can attach those lines to the lid. Okay, so now these pieces down here, you do need both of these pieces. These are the roof pieces. So right here, you're just going to change this one to score, click above it, and attach those. And we're going to do the same thing with this roof piece. We're going to just change this line to a score line, and then click above it to attach it. And now if you guys don't have a scoring tool, instead you will delete all of these lines. However, I highly recommend using a scoring tool for this box. It's going to make it so much easier to assemble and make everything line up perfectly. But if you don't have one, just fold everything by hand and delete all of these lines instead of changing them. So you are going to need these 2 side pieces. And so we're just going to change this to score, click above it to attach. I try to make it very organized and easy for you guys to change everything. So let's just click on this line and click on score and click right above it to attach it. And so this cute little pumpkin right here, this is just another little extra piece on the side. If you just want to put candy on all the sides, you're going to delete this group and also delete this little purple piece that goes with it. And same thing with these ghosts. If you don't want to add decorative ghosts, although I think they're super cute putting them in the windows, then you can delete these. And then these are decorative bats that are optional to add as well. These right here, these go in the windows here, so I do recommend having those pieces. And again, we're going to change this right here to a score line, and we're just going to click right above to attach it. And then we also need to change this one to score, click right here to attach, And then this is our last one that we need to change right here. We need to click on this to change it to score. Just click right above to attach that. All right, so everything's ready to go. And I absolutely do not recommend resizing this. If you make it any smaller, it's going to be very difficult to cut and assemble because it does have some intricate pieces to it. But if you make it any bigger, it's not going to fit on 12 by 12 cardstock. So you just want to leave everything as it is. And then go ahead and go on Make It, and we're going to go ahead and cut everything out. Before you start cutting, make sure that you insert your scoring stylus or the scoring wheel if you're using these, and then follow those prompts in Cricut Design Space to cut everything out. There are some intricate cuts with this design, so you do want to make sure that your blade is clean. And if you have any issues cutting any of these pieces, then first you want to make sure that you are using the correct paper setting for your paper. So if you're using the paper that I've recommended in the links down here, then you're going to want to use the 100-pound cardstock setting for your cardstock, and then the glitter cardstock setting for the glitter. And I am using the default setting for both of these, but you can try adding more pressure if it's not giving you the clean cut that you need. And if you do have your cut settings correct and you're still having issues, then you're going to need to replace your blade. If your blade's dull, it's not going to cut cardstock very well. And I am using a premium fine point blade for this, and I was able to cut everything out without any issues. Now once everything is cut out, you're going to start with the bottom box piece, which is that large piece that has the bats attached to it. And you're just going to line the curtains up over the windows. But before you glue these down, you need to add any ghosts that you want peeking out of the window first. So those ghosts are going to get glued in between that box layer and the curtains. And you don't need to use too much glue to glue these down. They're going to get held in with the little curtain piece and that purple piece that you're going to glue behind that as well. And there are 6 larger ghosts and then 6 smaller ghosts. So you want to take those 6 larger ghosts and put those ones aside. You're using those ones later. So right now you're just using those smaller ghosts. And so once you have those ghosts in place, then you can go ahead and glue the curtain in place on top. And all you want to do is just use a thin layer of glue around the outside of the curtain piece. And you're going to repeat this for the other 2 windows that have the curtain pieces that fit it. And then you're going to glue down those 4 purple square pieces, and you're gluing those to cover up those curtains on the inside of the box. And then you want to flip that box over, and you're going to glue the trim on for each of the windows. And then you want to glue that pumpkin together by layering the orange piece on top of the yellow piece. And then you can glue this to the outside of your box as well. And then glue on any additional ghosts that you may want. And make sure again that you are using the small ghost because you need those larger ones later. And you can even add bats to the outside if you want. These are all decorative pieces and you can use them kind of how you wish. So now you're just going to flip that box back over again, and you can glue that orange rectangle to the middle. This is another decorative piece, so you can choose whether or not you want to use this. And then if you want to add the boo piece here, you're just going to glue that black spider web on top of the green hexagon piece, and then glue the boo on top of that spider web. And then you're gluing this down on the orange square. So I actually meant for this to go on top of that hexagon box lid, but I accidentally glued it here. But if you're not using that box, then I do recommend gluing it here because it's just another cute decorative piece. But I'm going to cut out another one of these to add to the box as well. So then if you want to use the Happy Halloween, go ahead and assemble that by gluing on the Happy and the Halloween to that square spiderweb piece. And then you're just going to glue this on top of one of your purple squares. But you can also leave this piece off if you want to add additional candy to the wall instead. And the same is going to go for the little pumpkin piece that has the cat in it. So you can totally leave this piece off and just fill all your walls with candy. Or you can have fun and kind of decorate the walls like I'm doing here. But if you do want to add that pumpkin, to assemble it, you're going to start with gluing the orange pumpkin layer on top of the yellow. And then you want to glue that green stem on top of the pumpkin. And then you're going to assemble the cat by gluing the pink layer on top of your white layer. And then glue that black layer on top. And remember to glue those 2 black eyes on top as well because those are separate from the black cat face. So make sure that you get those off the mat because they are part of your design. And then you're going to go back to that pumpkin piece and flip this upside down. And then using either small foam dots or you can cut small pieces of foam tape, you're just going to place these around just the outside of the pumpkin. You don't want to place them across the top, just the sides and the bottom, and only on the outside. And then you want to grab those two purple pieces, that purple pumpkin and that little purple pool thing. And you're going to slide the purple pull piece into that slot on the purple pumpkin. And you're going to slide it so you can pull it and it won't pull all the way out because there's that larger piece keeping it from coming out. And then you're going to attach this piece just like that on top of those foam dots. Next, you want to line the cat up where it's going to go underneath the pumpkin when you have that cat hidden. But make sure that you leave the little head sticking out because you're going to attach the pumpkin top to it. So you want to leave it out to where when you put the pumpkin top on it, that the pumpkin is closed completely. And you are attaching that pumpkin top using the foam dots or those little foam pieces of tape as well. And now you're just going to flip this over, and there's that little pull part, and you're going to glue that to the cat, but you're only gluing the very, very, very top part of that to the cat. So you only want to use a little bit of glue, and you're just gluing that little top part right to the cat. So don't get any glue on that purple part because you want this to slide up and down freely. So make sure that after you glue this on, you can slide it up and down. If not, then you need to detach it and only glue that little tip part onto the cat. Alright, so then when you do attach this pumpkin to the inside of your explosion box, you only want to glue along the outsides of the pumpkin. So pretty much you're putting glue exactly where you put that foam tape before. Because again, you don't want that pool to get glued down, and you don't want glue too close to it because you want it to have plenty of room to pull up and down so it's super easy to pull. And when you are done, then you're just going to be able to pull up on that stem to reveal the cat, and then you push it back down to hide the cat. And you shouldn't struggle with this. It should be super duper easy to pull up and down. So it's just a little fun element to add to it. It makes it a little more fun and exciting to it. Again, but it's an optional piece, but I think it's really cute and adds a lot to the box. And then also the hexagon box, it's also an optional feature for this. So if you're trying to use less paper or make this box quicker, then you can leave all of this out as well, and you can just fill the middle of the box with your candy. But I think it's fun to add this part because it's just another fun surprise to open. So if you're using this to assemble it, start by folding in on all 6 of those score lines, and then you're going to glue the ghost to the inside of the box, and you're just gluing one ghost on each box side, and you are using those larger ghosts that you put aside earlier. And then to assemble the lid, just fold in on all of your score lines and even those little tab pieces, and then you're just going to glue those tab pieces to the inside of the box sides, and you're just going to continue to glue each tab piece on until your box is assembled. And then I'm going to glue the boo piece to the top of the box that I assembled earlier and glue to the bottom of the box. So if you want to add this piece to both places like I did, then you are going to need to duplicate this layer in Cricut Design Space. It's just these 3 pieces, the boo, the spider web, and the green hexagon piece. You need to duplicate them and cut them out again because the design only has this once. But like I said, I typically wouldn't have glued it to that bottom piece since I'm using this box. I just did that by accident, so I cut out another one. And so to close the box, all you're going to do is hold those sides in, and then you're just going to place the lid on top to keep those sides up. And you could either glue this down to the middle bottom part of that box, or you can just place it in there and leave it loose in there, which is what I'm going to do. And then finally, we're ready to assemble the lid for the box. So go ahead and grab that lid piece, and again, fold on all of your score lines, and then you're gluing those tab pieces to the inside of the lid sides to close the box lid together, just like we just did with that last box lid. And now grab your little side pieces to the top of the house and place the purple square over the window for the house piece. But again, before gluing this down, make sure that you add any ghosts that you want showing. And you're just gluing those ghosts between the house layer and the purple rectangle, just like we did earlier with the curtains. And then you're going to glue those purple rectangles down, and you're just adding a little bit of glue around the outside of them as you glue those down. And then you're also going to glue that white spider web on top, and you're going to repeat this for the other side of the house as well. And then you'll see that these pieces have little tabs on the outsides, so go ahead and fold those tab pieces in on each side for both sides of your house. And then we're going to go ahead and attach these to your lid. So to attach these to your lid, you are going to glue them to the front of your box lid, and you're lining that spider web up with that triangle cutout on the lid, And so you're just lining the bottom part of the house up with the bottom part of the lid. And you're going to glue one of them to the front of your lid and then the other one to the back of your lid. And these are both going to be the sides that have the triangle cut out. And then you're going to add on that first roof piece. And all you're going to do is fold this in half on the score line and then attach it to those tab pieces at the roof of the house. And I think it's easiest to go ahead and glue one side down and get that pressed on really well. And then glue that other side down and get that pressed down really well. And then you can go ahead and glue the other half of the roof down. And make sure that you take some time to press this down so that it stays on really well. And you can even use like your brayer tool to help smooth it out if needed. Then you're going to grab your trim pieces and you're folding in on those score lines, and you're gluing these little pieces down over the roof. And this is how you're going to add that trim to the front and back of your haunted house. And then you're going to add the top roof layer. And so you're just going to fold this in half on the score line. And then you can use something round like your scoring stylus or a pen to roll those roof shingles up if you want to add more dimension to this, or you can leave them flat, but I think it looks super cute with them rolled up. And so when you glue this down, it's really helpful to go like at a section at a time, making sure that you don't glue the shingles down, especially if you want them to kind of flare up a little bit. So just go ahead and just glue in between them and press that down, and then glue that next layer and press it down until your roof is completely glued down. And if you are having trouble getting those edges to glue down, especially if you use glitter paper for the trim like I am, then you're going to want to use a hot glue gun for this part. Glitter can be really hard to glue on top of, but a hot glue does the trick. So you can just do a little bit of hot glue on those sides if you're having a little bit of trouble getting them to stick. And then for the final assembly of the box, you're just going to fold in on all of those four score lines for that bottom layer, and then fold the bats in half where you see this score line running down the middle of it, and you're bringing those bats in while you fold them in half. And then once you've folded on all of those, you'll easily be able to bring the sides up to close the box. And then when you're ready to attach the candy to your box sides, you can just use double-sided tape for this. So I'm just using 2 strips for each side, and that holds it really well. And you can use fun-size candy bars or like the little fun-size candy packets, and those fit perfectly. And then for the hexagon box, you're just going to kind of hold it in place in your hand with the sides up the best you can, and then go ahead and fill that with little mini wrapped candies. And once you have that as full as you can, then go ahead and place the lid on top, and then you're going to place this inside your explosion box, and then just fold those sides up and add the top lid, and then you're just going to remove that lid for a fun surprise. And if you're given this as a gift, you may want to tie like a black ribbon or like a Halloween ribbon around this. That way it's going to make it easier to carry, but it's also going to make sure that it doesn't get opened until it's ready to be opened, because a lot of candy is going to come out, so you want to make sure they're ready to open it when they do. But I hope you guys love this box as much as I do. And there's so many different elements that you can leave out if you don't want to spend a lot of time putting this together, or if you don't want to use this much paper. So feel free to use the elements to create your own unique haunted house explosion box. And definitely share them with me on social media. If you post these, tag me, because I'd love to see all the different variations, and I'd love to share them on my page. And also, if you guys have any questions on how to modify or assemble this, then make sure to leave those in the comments and I will answer them there. And if you guys do want to see more explosion box designs, make sure to like this video. That way I know that this is something you'd like to see more of. And thank you guys so much for watching.